Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
I give Billy Joe a chance in there against Canelo. Alright, I do. I done a recent live stream. Actually, I done it only about 2 hours ago. And basically, I think I had about 80 people in at one stage. And I said to everyone in the chat, I said, leave it in the comments, leave it in the chat, who you got in this fight, Canelo or Billy Joe. The overwhelming majority, I would say probably about 80-85% said Canelo. Some were saying by KO. Majority of them were saying by Canelo by decision. Most people were saying as well that this was kind of split, because some people were saying that they can give Billy Joe a chance and other people were saying no, they can't. Me personally, when I look at Billy Joe versus Canelo, right, I genuinely do see an interesting matchup. I see an interesting style for Canelo. Canelo has looked spectacular over the last few fights. He really, truly, we are seeing, this is prime Canelo. This right now, Canelo Alvarez is 30 years old, going on 31. This is the peak of his career. I believe that we are seeing Canelo in his athletic prime right now. Right, athletic, physical, maybe even mental. He may be actually, comfy with how everything is, right? So, he is looking fantastic. Billy Joe Saunders, the best we ever saw Billy Joe, at least the best I've ever seen him, was when he fought David Lemieux in 2017. That will be 4 years this December, alright? Time flies, it really does. That was the best we ever saw Billy Joe. Bear in mind, stylistically, you could not have got a better fighter for Billy Joe to look good against than a David Lemieux. A slow-footed, plodding middleweight who looks for one shot, has very poor balance, has a suspect defense. You couldn't have put him in there with a guy to make him look better, seriously. That Billy Joe, who fought Lemieux, needs to be... that Billy Joe was good, very good. That Billy Joe needs to be better in order to beat Canelo. But that style of Billy Joe, the movement, the jab, the southpaw left, the southpaw left jab, the movement Billy Joe had there was brilliant. The hooks, the right hooks, there wasn't much power in him in that Lemieux fight, but go back and look at those right hooks, they were bothering Lemieux. That Billy Joe, right, gives Canelo Alvarez some problems, in my opinion. Canelo has been looking fantastic, but I think that we will see Canelo look human in this fight. I will be picking Canelo to win this fight on points. Make no mistake about that. I'm not saying that I'm picking Billy Joe to win. What I am saying is that I believe Billy Joe has a good chance in this fight, right? I think that from a style point of view, he can cause Canelo some issues. I think that tactically he might be able to cause Canelo some issues. He will definitely make Canelo look... We'll definitely look at Canelo and say, oh, that wasn't as straightforward as the last few fights, I think Billy Joe will give more than Callum Smith did. All right, he will definitely be more durable than an Anthony Yildirim, because he's not just going to do a human heavy bag impression, right? He is going to move. Seen some people say he's going to be Lara 2.0. I don't think Billy Joe will be as negative as Erislandy Lara was. Erislandy Lara was really running around the ring. There were moments in that fight where Erislandy Lara did actually do some good work and did make Canelo look very pedestrian-like. Like if you go back and watch that fight, look at the third round, that's what you call a schooling, what Erislandy Lara was doing to Canelo. Right, Canelo has improved leaps and bounds since then. I thought he won the Lara fight. Right, I did. I thought he won it very close, but I thought he won it. He's improved leaps and bounds since then. Right, he's active. Canelo was. Imagine this. 10 weeks ago was the last time he fought, and he fights Anthony Yildirim. Now he's fighting again in May. This is very good. Enjoy this, because we might not see this again from a top level fighter, the level of Canelo who's fighting as frequently as this. Enjoy it. Seriously, he might even fight in September as well. Enjoy it. Canelo is such a good fighter, such an improved fighter. But Billy Joe, as I said, styles make fights. I think he can cause Canelo some issues. One thing about Billy Joe that I've always criticised him for is his inconsistency with his career in terms of fights he has and when he has them. Alright? When he won that middleweight title from Andy Lee, we didn't see anything until the following year. He was meant to fight. Remember this, right? Because remember, Canelo at one stage was mandatory. Remember this, 2016 was mandatory for Billy Joe's WBO 160-pound title, because he beat Liam Smith, and therefore when he moved to middleweight he would then become mandatory. Alright, he was meant to fight Billy Joe on the undercard of Canelo Smith. I believe he was meant to fight Gabe Rosado. Weight was the issue, had to pull out of that fight. Right, ended up fighting Akimov in that leisure centre. Was it Akimov? Yeah, it was Akimov in that leisure centre. Alright, then he was out there for 10 months. Fought Willie Monroe, Then fought David Lemieux. I think it was only 3 months between the two. Quick turnaround. We saw Billy Joe look good. Then again, stagnant. Martin Murray fights falling through. Demetrius Andre fight falls through. Fights in Damu on the Frampton Warrington undercard. And then 2019, 2 fights against fairly basic opponents in Isufi and that Caracas guy, I think is how you pronounce his name, the Argentinian middleweight. And obviously 2020 was a bit of a write-off for everyone, so we'll give him that one. And he fought Martin Murray. The fact that he fought Martin Murray in December and he's fighting again in May is good, because it means that it's a quick enough turnaround. He's been staying in the gym with Mark Tibbs, which is what I like to see. Is it Mark Tibbs or Jimmy Tibbs? Jimmy Tibbs, which is what I like to see from Billy Joe. So he's obviously keeping himself in shape. So it's obviously not going to be a case of, is he going to be looking to lose weight in camp before he gets into the main knit and grit? No, he's going to be just looking to get his technique, get his boxing precise, and get it ready. Billy Joe in this fight, as I said, don't be surprised if he makes Canelo look human. Having said that, I won't be going for Billy Joe to win this fight. Do I think it will be competitive? Yes. Do I think we may see some closer scorecards than we're used to seeing? Yes, I do. I've noticed that Canelo scorecards, at least on the zone, have been a lot more fair to the opponent. Apart from the fights like Canelo Smith, where he clearly just won every minute of every round. That's different. The fights against Kovalev, one judge had Kovalev ahead before Kovalev got knocked out. Against Danny Jacobs, I thought Canelo won the fight, but the scorecards were a good reflection of the fight. There was no like 119, 109 or 118, 110. They were like 116, 112 and 115, 113. A close fight, reflection of the fight that we saw. It was a competitive fight. This is what I've been seeing with Canelo on the zone. It's a 2-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. Whether he extends it or not remains to be seen. But looking at it from this point of view, if Canelo decides, I want Plant, so I'll sign a deal after this to go and fight on Fox, well, the zone won't have him. So what reason would they have to, have favourable treatment? So I reckon we will see some. This is going to points. I'd be very surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if Canelo stops Billy Joe. Be amazed if Billy Joe stops Canelo. Like, that really would shock me. Because Canelo's taking punches from Kovalev, taking punches from Danny Jacobs. Remember that left hook? Danny Jacobs can crack. Took a left hook from Danny Jacobs. Took shots from Triple G. He's been in there with guys like that. If Billy Joe was able to stop Canelo, I'd be amazed. Seriously. Stranger things have happened, but I'd be amazed. It's fairly unlikely, as I use my analogies, but it'd be fairly unlikely for him to stop Canelo. But I would expect to see some quite interesting scorecards in this fight. I like this fight from a style point of view. I like this fight in general, right? I think it's a good fight. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested in it. I think that a lot of people, well, certainly I saw a lot of people online, not really fans on my channel, but I saw a lot of people online, on Twitter and stuff like that, saying, oh, this is a bit, Billy Joe's going to get knocked, he's going to get this. I think a lot of people don't like Billy Joe. He's a Marmite character. He's done a lot of things that even I look at and I think, my God, that was a bit stupid. But I think a lot of people let their perception of Billy Joe, the fact that maybe they don't like him as a character, cloud their judgment. Like, I remember when Billy Joe signed up to fight Lemieux, the amount of people I saw picking Lemieux by KO, they didn't even look at the fight and think stylistically Lemieux was tailor-made for Billy Joe. They just looked at Billy Joe and were like, I don't like you, you're going to lose by KO. It's just like, you shouldn't let that sway how you think a fight's going to go. It should just be like, well, obviously most fans are casuals and they don't tend to look at it like we would, and they just be like, he's going to win. Why? He just is. Or I don't like him, so he's going to lose. But you tend to see that with boxing fans as well, that they look at someone's character and they're just like, well, he's going to lose because I don't like him. Not because of any specific reason, just I don't like him, he's going to lose. He's going to lose by KO. Yeah. So, there is that. I like this fight. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be competitive. I think we're going to see the best Billy Joe Saunders we've seen possibly ever. But saying that, Canelo Alvarez, every time we see him in the ring, he just looks better and better and better and better. So I think we're in for a treat on May the 8th. I really do. I'm going to call it here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What you think, who you got, what you think is going to happen. Do you, like me, think that Billy Joe stands a very good chance in here? And do you, like me, think that we're going to see a very good fight? Let me know in the comments below. Smash the like button on your way in, on your way out. Hashtag G-Mans, rocks, all that good stuff. Lads and lassies, I'll talk to you. Peace.